Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Friday to you. Let's take a little look here at SUI, see what's going on. Still respecting this descending trend line until we close soundly above this 363 mark. I think it's best to presume we're going to be range bound and down. This is kind of how the charts are telling us. Again, this is no disrespect to this coin or to some of the seldom troll that likes to say something snarky in the comments. Folks, I'm just going to always tell you what the charts tell us. There's no bias here, and you shouldn't have one either. Okay, but the truth is this coin's very strong, and in most cases it will bounce and recover quickly. So this just if I tell you it's going to go down, it doesn't mean you want to take a short into it. I actually have a 50-50, basically a 50% chance of taking a short and having success, right? In other words, with all the best TA you could try to do, it's a difficult coin to short. So it's not recommended to do that. I prefer like an 80% success rate, which is my average for longs and shorts in general across the market. So either way you look at it, not optimal to try to short this coin. What is optimal though is to focus on coins that are pumping right now. Like AVAX, for example, we took 33% on that in 18 hours from yesterday, and I'm considering some trades with either XRP, ICP, or Cardano as well, and those are all doing very well today. SUI is still a good coin, still a strong coin, but it doesn't have anything that's indicating it's going to pump or take off from here. We got to break our descending trend line first. That's just kind of the general consensus about how it should work. Having said that, though, we take a look here. We're smack dab in the middle of a large liquidation range, so not a lot of incentive to the upside or downside in either way, which is actually good. It's important not to have that heavy stack in either direction, because this actually implies that the price action should start to normalize and start trading normal as far as that's concerned. But what is normal, right? Well, normal is less manipulation, in my opinion, where like we don't have too many leveraged longs or shorts at any given area, and it helps us understand that we're kind of actually trending in the direction it's supposed to go in, which right now is down. Just so you understand, it is pulling back, and that's a very common thing for how overextended this coin is. If we look at the delta, though, we can see we are getting larger, a lot more shorts entering the market in the last 24 to 48 hours. You could even say most people are short heavy in the last week. You can kind of see this here pretty present. We can also notice too that there's unfortunately a lot of people that are very interested in this coin at 375 and 367. Those are the two areas of open interest. Those are considered points of control, and you can kind of see here that they're controlling the price action right now. Okay, again, being below that is generally disadvantageous. Okay, so that's just what we're going to look at here in just a moment, but let's go ahead and look at the daily time frame first and recognize that stochastic swinging down pretty hard. MACD is soon to diverge. This is one of the few coins that has a MACD divergence on the horizon. So again, these are just kind of forecasting tools letting us know that shift in momentum is happening. Okay? Now we're entering our support range, or will be potentially soon, at 325 to 342. So that is a good little area of consideration for longs or to add to your spot bag, because that's generally going to be a pivot point. The reason why is because there's a previous resistance ranges and also channels that SUI had spent some time in before it took off again. Okay, and it's common for coins to retest those levels before they bounce. So we did already technically get a candle wick all the way down to like $33.32, but we could see further downside here. That's what this the daily time frame is telling us. Also, you can't be blindly bullish anymore on this coin. The reason why is because we broke below 70 in the RSI on the daily. Okay, that's not the only indication, but that's a good strong indicator letting us know that you should have secured profits on a long by now. Okay. Again, a lot of folks are greedy in this coin just based on the simple sense that it's a very strong coin, but you do got to recognize that strong coins will have they're going to have their time in the light, but they're also going to spend some time in the darkness too. Okay, so it's not all perfect sunshine and rainbows for this coin, as some people may expect. Again, it's just trading 101, folks. Doesn't matter how great the technical analysis is, or it doesn't matter how great the fundamentals are. The technical analysis will always give us indications that turnarounds are potential. And this coin has proven to retrace quite significantly when it does. It instantly recovers. That's the key takeaway here, is that it's hard to find the bottom or buy the bottom of this coin because it's so volatile that it recovers fast. All right, so let's talk about this here. 4-hour time frame, this is kind of the more indicative time frame for us. We are under the 20 and the 50-day SMA. Those are running concurrent with this descending trend. Until we break that trend, and I mentioned this yesterday, a closure above 363 is what we're looking for. It didn't close above 363 yesterday. We can see that pretty obvious as a sound rejection area there. Okay, so a lot of confluence there, which is good to recognize. It just implies that you're kind of foolish to take a long into that. It's just, again, just from the technicals here. Not to say that you are a fool for taking a long position. It's just that, you know, if you're taking a high leverage long right now, just because you feel like the bottom is in, when it may not be, that's not really a good call, right? So again, just you want to use good risk tolerance, and everyone's just risk tolerance is different. If you're like a 100x leverage trader at at what you feel is the bottom, and the price keeps running, you get stopped out all the time, you may want to reevaluate. I recommend low leverage with any coin that you trade. Okay, it just the best way to save your portfolio. Either way, we can see here a lot of support. We're entering the support range again. As you can see, again, take a look at this here. A lot of resistance here, a lot of support here. So the likelihood of a pivot and a bounce from here is greater. Okay, so please understand, even though all the signs are pointing down, we may be hitting our bottom. But you got to recognize too, the more often you test a support level, the more likely it is to break, and there's a good chance we could see a further continuation lower. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Also note too that there are a lot of a lot more people shorting this coin than taking longs right now, and a lot of times you want to go in the direction of the trend. And the trend right now is down for SUI. There's no other way around it. I know it's probably infuriating seeing all these coins like XRP, for example, an interesting coin, pumping when SUI is dumping. So it's frustrating, I'm sure. But try not to get it in your head. We're in a pretty good spot right now. I think the likelihood of further upside is greater, even though everything here is still bearish. So from a conservative standpoint, you're better off waiting for confirmation. And confirmation is going to come when you break above 50 on the RSI. And as you can see here, this break above 50 on the RSI is right here at 363. So that leads me to believe when I start seeing the RSI line up with key level resistances, that reinforces that behavior. So that tells me that I don't feel confident in taking long until we close above 363. Okay, so please just recognize that a lot of signs here are still pointing down for this coin, even though it could instantly recover here soon, and it will likely do so considering the support range that we're entering. It's still, from a technical standpoint, there's no reason to take a long with this coin right now. Ichimoku Cloud is going to confirm that as well. We're still below the cloud. As you can see, we've broken above a couple times. But as I mentioned previously, folks, when you take trades based on Ichimoku Cloud, which is a super awesome indicator, right? Basically, it has like 3 different functions in one. Watch my video if you're curious on how to use it correctly, but I always recommend waiting 3 or 4 hours above the cloud before you take a trade, because you get these false positives sometimes where the price breaks up. It's like, nope, just kidding. The trapping late longs, the price goes down, right? So avoid that trap by waiting for confirmation, and again, closing above the cloud would put us there after a few hours. So hypothetically, it's going to look like this when the price action does this, spends about 3 or 4 hours above the cloud. That would be a consideration for long. Okay. Again, I'd prefer 363 or higher, but just know if you're going to trade on the cloud only, that could be an earlier indication of a long position. But right now, the lagging span's free and clear of the price action to the downside, implying that more downside is potential. We also have the conversion line is below the baseline. So those are basically have 3 out of 3 reasons here to not take a long position. That's what it's telling us. Okay. Now again, is this a guarantee? No, we could be shifting momentum here. We want to see how this descending trend line treats us first. But I'm going to be looking for a closure at 363 or higher. If you're going to consider a long here soon, just keep it a low leverage position. There's a good chance we could see a bounce here because it's a support range. But what if Bitcoin comes up to 100,000, sweeps that upper area of liquidation, and then pulls back? What do you think SUI is going to do? The chance of it taking off from there is pretty low, depending on how Bitcoin dominance and the overall shift in momentum occurs. So there's too many variables here to warrant a confident trade in the upper direction. I'm not recommending you short, but if you were to short, just recognize that 332 to like this 340 range is a pretty solid amount of support from previous daily and 4-hour closures. So I don't recommend trading into that. Okay. Cool. All right. I hope that makes sense. Again, best trade is no trade. And it's funny. There was somebody that commented yesterday below in the comments, and they said that cash almost always tells you 90% of the time to wait to take a trade. And that's 100% true. Okay. Because again, you folks, you got to realize that, when you're analyzing the charts, you should be convincing yourself not to take a trade versus the other way around, right? So if I'm constantly telling you not to take a trade, sure, you're going to miss out some opportunities, but the times I do tell you to take a trade, we hit our targets. It's like an 85% chance. Okay. I average that much every single month consistently. While I don't take a ton of trades, I find better trades. That's all there is to it. And again, that's what confirmation comes from. So it's not an exact science. You're going to miss tons of opportunity. And there's even times where you wait for a perfect opportunity and it goes south on you. That just happens, folks. But you got to take it in stride. You got to learn from it, and you got to continue to just be the best trader you can be. So work on your risk tolerance, and you'll get better. I promise you that. It took me quite a while to get here, but after 20 years of trial and error, I'm trying to impart you with some good knowledge. All right, thanks again for watching. I hope you learned something today. Don't forget to like the video. Make sure you check out our Bitunix deposit bonus, and more importantly, progressive prize pool. We got 7 days left to collect $60K in prize pool rewards rather. Awesome stuff though. So check that out in your own time. CryptoCash.tech if you want to become a better trader. I look forward to working with you. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.